we're here in Costa Rica at Rhythmia. We did ayahuasca last night, took the medicine, and there's 4 different journeys that you can have, right? So you can have the body, which is where you're throwing up or shitting yourself, which is called purging. You could have the pinta, which is visions and seeing geometrical shapes, maybe some past memories, stuff like that, right? Then you have the consulta, which is talking to yourself, right? So you're having conversations with yourself, or maybe the medicine itself, and trying to consult you on where your life is going. And then the last one is called nada, where pretty much you take the medicine and whatever this medicine is trying to heal in you is too much for you to bear, so it puts you straight to sleep, right? Last night, I had none of those. I took 2 cups full, so you take the first cup, we wait about an hour and a half, he calls for their second cup, I went up, got my second cup, both are disgusting, nasty, and I didn't feel anything the whole time, but I'm listening to everyone around me and they're all puking and shitting themselves, and I am here just waiting for my turn. When am I gonna purge?
It's like the only time you're like, no, why can't I shit my brains out? Why can't I throw up?
I wanna join. Come on.
You have like FOMO. It's like it's hilarious.
I have purge FOMO.
Yeah. So that was Grant sharing his introductory experience. We have 3 more journeys to go. So that's completely normal, even though it's rare not to feel something super significant your first time. It's like these little whispers, right? And that was something we spoke about yesterday, was like these whispers that are your highest self. Our ego is loud, operating from fear, trying to keep us safe, fearing change. Those are the loud voices. Like, no, bro, don't fucking get in that cold plunge. Don't have that challenging conversation with a loved one. Don't sit with ayahuasca, bro. Don't face yourself. It's much easier to just stay asleep. And that's what a majority of people choose to do. But when you actually lean into the discomfort, that's where all the magic happens. And something else is that the universe and God always rewards bravery. I love that, right?
They absolutely do.
Like, God always rewards bravery. So people who come here to commit to sitting with ayahuasca, 4 separate ceremonies, whether it happens on the first night, the second night, the third night, the 6th night, you are going to receive some sort of breakthrough that transforms the trajectory of your life. And everyone's life and journey is different. So for me, it might happen on night 2. For you, it might happen night 5. And then it's just about us integrating those things into our life. So,
yeah.
So,
and even though that I didn't have, a surreal experience last night, still in the classes that they have here at Rhythmia, I'm still learning a lot. Like today we were talking about the 4 stages of spiritual growth, right? And we have stage 1, victim, stage 2, manifest, stage 3 is channeling, and stage 4 is being, right? And even sitting in that class, I'm thinking back to last night that, okay, I'm not feeling anything, even though I was welcoming it. I was saying, okay, I believe in God, and God, if you are saying that this medicine is a tool where you can come into me and heal me, I'm letting you in. Go ahead and come do your thing. Nothing happened, but I could sit and think, okay, am I in a victim mentality? Am I thinking, why didn't it happen? Or am I thinking, okay, what's my angle now? Like, what is possible now that it didn't happen last night? And you know what's possible? I got up before everyone else today.
Yeah.
I got up before everyone else, and I went to yoga before anyone else. Granted, I thought it was at 6:30. It was at 7 o'clock. But regardless, I have more energy. I'm eating more than everyone today. So those are some possibilities, right? And so now I can change my perception. And another breakthrough I had today, even though I didn't get anything from the medicine so far that I am aware of, I found out that the reason I'm here, really, is to try and find some sort of structure and organization back into my life, because I'm someone that flies by the seat of my pants. I always have been. Wherever the wind is blowing me, wherever I know that I can use my talents, I go. Yeah. Even coming here, right? Yeah. I mean, I didn't know I was coming here until 3 days ago. Yeah. Where you were like, oh, dude, you can't not come for this life-changing experience. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Right? I mean, and I just ended up here. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's valuable to also be open to like those spontaneous moments And especially as a man, like we need the structure. We
Yeah.
need the groundedness to
Yeah.
stay consistent. And if we don't have that, then we're just not the best version of ourselves. We're not going to be the best providers and protectors
Right.
because we're unpredictable. Like the feminine, women naturally are very unpredictable. Every stage of their cycle, they're having different hormone changes, different emotions going up and down. It's like this roller coaster,
Right.
right? But that's what makes a woman beautiful, is these waves of emotions, her capacity to feel. Men are more stable and grounded. So that is why it's so important for us to like really be disciplined in our practices, in our rituals, in our routines, so we can just keep showing up every day and be committed.
I love that.
Yeah, but last night for my first ceremony, this was my 9th time sitting with ayahuasca in a span of like 6 years, which really isn't that much. Like if you think, obviously compared to you.
It's a lot to most people, though. Most people,
Yeah.
they think ayahuasca and they think, okay, this is, I'm sitting in a teepee with a fire and a shaman, and I'm going, oh, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Which, there's some truth, but, it's unknown and a foreign thing to most people.
Yeah, so one of the things I think people fear the most when they actually sit with ayahuasca, like when they hear stories about it, they're like, oh my God, I don't want to be purging, I don't want to be throwing up, I don't want to be shitting my brains out. But when you're actually there, like those are the most healing experiences. And my first shaman ever in Peru told us that when you're purging out the mouth, when you're vomiting, that is releasing and removing emotional trauma, right? Stuck energy from suppressing your feelings. And then when you release out your ass, that is physical pain and trauma. And last night, bro, I literally was living on the toilet. Like every time I thought I was done, I wasn't. And they said, one of the first things they told us was do not trust the fart. And now I understand why they said that, because when I farted for the first time, I'm like, okay, I think that was an innocent fart. And then it happened again. And I was like,
Yep, too close.
I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then when I did, bro, it was just an outpouring. It was like so healing though. It was so healing. And I was literally giving gratitude to God for just giving me the opportunity to release, because I've actually had moments in my life where like there's blockages with my digestion and I couldn't shit for like 3 or 4 days, and it was so painful. So I was actually like so grateful. I was like, thank you. And that's the key, as they also mentioned, is like gratitude, whatever comes through.
Right.
Even the little subtle moments, like I was telling you before I throw it back to you, was like there's a song playing and every word of each song has like deeper intention, right? And the song said, who would I become if I forgave myself? And I was like, wow, I've been beating myself up for certain missed opportunities and perceived failures the last couple years. And what I realized during last night's ceremony was like, bro, even the fact that I was able to overcome every one of those obstacles is a fucking miracle. Like most people would have given up. Most people would have quit. Most people would have played the victim. And I actually was able to survive all of those things and use them as a foundation to evolve to the next version of myself.
Yeah. I think being able to forgive ourselves is so huge. And some people will say what they want about that, but we cannot dwell on all of our mistakes. We're going to fuck up again and again and again and again, over and over for our entire lives. And I think there's a good lesson from the teachings of ayahuasca saying that, hey, we need to, one, forgive ourselves. We need to look at who we've become, like who is this person, or what is this mask that I've been showing the world? Show me what I have become. So here at Rhythmia, they have a trinity, right? So it's show me who I've become. It's merge myself back with my soul at all costs. And the last one is heal my heart, right? These are 3 beautiful intentions to try and capture throughout the week here, taking ayahuasca, taking the medicine. Another interesting thing is that they personify this ayahuasca. They all say it's a she, and she is the smartest of all things, right? And it's almost like that this ayahuasca, this mixture of a leaf and a vine from 2 different regions, is the highest concentration of God himself. And it's really interesting. So whether you believe in God, whether you believe in Jesus, whether you believe in an all-universal power, regardless, it's all the same because we all have a piece of God in us. And we are all trying to get back to our soul. And the soul in it of itself is not bad or good. I personally believe that. I think all souls are pure and godly. I think God made us in his image, right? And so they said while we were here that between the ages of 0 and 7, we all split from our souls at one point, and it could be anything. There's a woman here that I was talking to that said that she had a journey with ayahuasca, and she realized that her trauma, her split, was in the womb. Yeah. She had a flashback to being in the womb, and something happened that her mom never told her about that made her split from her soul, right? And she didn't attach back to her soul until she was 40 years old. I mean, how amazing is that? Well, you and I would never remember anything like that. So I think it's our duty on earth while we're alive is to try and bring ourselves back to who we really are. So show me what I become. Merge me back to my soul. Okay, now that I know I'm back with who God intended me to be, heal my heart. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's great. Yeah, this is cool because we have one mic, so we're kind of like just going back and forth and trading insights from the first 2 days. And by the way, this is why Rhythmia is such a great place to come, especially if it's your first time sitting with the medicine, because it's way more than just drinking ayahuasca. There's so many other components, right? It's like the food you're eating, it's the medical team, it's having yoga and breath work, it's connecting with other people who are going through that experience. Yeah. So I'm a big believer in having the most authentic experiences possible. Like, go to the jungle in Peru, absolutely. Sit with these tribes, these indigenous tribes, right? And have a more raw experience. And there's something beautiful about like feeling just super safe and protected that first time. And, there's people that have been here like 9 times. Like, they come once a year or they come twice a year, and then they bring back their husband, their wife, their children. Like, because once you sit with the medicine, you realize, oh wow, like this has such a deep transformational effect. And like Grant was saying, something that's really powerful when we talk about the soul and we talk about disease and we talk about Western medicine, right? When you think about it, all disease stems from a disconnection with your soul. So that is the suppressed feelings and emotions. It's constantly wearing a mask to get the approval of other people. It's the abandonment of your inner child. Yeah. And when that happens, there's that split from your soul. And that split creates tension and it creates trauma. And it creates inflammation on a cellular level. And we know that all disease stems from inflammation. So we need to get back to the root cause. We need to reconnect to our souls. And some of the cool things and easy ways to do that, like Grant plays music, right? Moves his body a lot. These are great ways. Like, that's one of the things I love most about spending time with you, bro, is like we always
let's
just fucking laugh.
Play. Let's laugh. Let's act like kids.
Exactly. Like, there's not many like grown men who are masculine dudes who you can also just like have a great time with and laugh and be fucking ridiculous with, So re-emerging back with the soul. What does that look like for you?
So today, let me start off with this. So just to touch on what Jeremy was saying, Rhythmia is such a great place because you're not just taking ayahuasca, and for me, it is nice because I'm in a controlled setting. Although I would love that raw experience and just go into the middle of the jungle. We're sitting out here by the pool. We have massages here, and we have amazing food, and we have coconut water on tap, and we have medical professionals making sure that we're okay. And everything is super structured and organized, which is fantastic. But on top of that, you're also in these classes with people that spend their entire lives focusing on their own spiritual growth, and they are able to help you decipher and differentiate what is real and what is not, how to look at these visions that you're having with the ayahuasca and how to determine what meaning they have in your own life. And I think that is one of the biggest things here. Even though I haven't experienced a vision myself yet, I know that when I do, I'll have a support group around me. Whereas if I was in the jungle, just with a shaman, I might not know, I might not know what they're saying. I might not be able to understand anything. But to answer your question, what does it mean to be kind of back with my soul? I think today the teacher gave a really good depiction of this. And so we have those 4 stages of spiritual growth, right? We have stage 1, which is victim. We have stage 2, which is manifestation. Stage 3 is channeling. And when we're channeling, it's something like, if you think about an artist, if you like to paint, if you're playing guitar, if you're singing, if you're dancing like you do, if you're podcasting, if you're doing anything like that where it just comes so naturally, or even, have you ever had someone that needed some advice and it just came out of you and they were like, oh my God, that's everything I needed to hear? Or you might have said something to someone and the next week they were like, when you said that to me, it changed my life. And you're like, I don't even remember what I said. It's because you are channeling from the source. You are so connected with the source, which the source is what I'm learning is what this ayahuasca thing is all about. This ayahuasca is the most concentrated source of God, which is why when you're taking it, people have these extreme visions and extreme realizations. And it's why people come and they're addicts and they change their lives with just a night. Yeah. So it's really incredible. But if you can try and stay in that, if you could stay in a field where you're constantly channeling the source, you're golden. You could get anything done. You could do anything in life. You could inspire people. You could make people feel loved. You can do anything you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. Like, if you think about it, I think as humans, we think that we're like the most elite species out there, yeah. Which is so silly, bro, because plants in nature are so much more intelligent than we are.
Absolutely.
So things like ayahuasca, things like mushrooms, these are operating at a much higher intelligence because as humans, we're also a slave to our mind and we get stuck in our head. We're disconnected from our heart. We're disconnected from our soul. We're disconnected from the present moment. So the best thing that you can do to reconnect is actually immerse yourself in nature. Yeah. Whether that's drinking some cups of ayahuasca, whether that is literally just doing what we're doing, like hearing the birds chirp, walking barefoot in the grass. Like, that's another beautiful thing about just being out here. You guys can probably hear the birds chirping. Like, there's so much lush greenery, which is why if you're listening to this and you're like, I've been curious about doing ayahuasca, I've been researching places, and you're like thinking about doing it, in your city, LA, New York, like all of these places have all of these like shamans. And that's just something that I would not recommend. Honestly, some of them are good. Like some of them actually fly in like shamans from Colombia or Peru or Costa Rica and they lead ceremonies in the States. There's just something different about getting on a plane, going somewhere and really immersing yourself in that experience. Absolutely. Like, there's just something different, right?
Especially with nature all around you. I mean, you're taking a medicine that is said to be a source of God, and you're surrounded by luscious greenery, like you said. A bird flying over our heads. Like, you're not going to get close. This at a condo in Miami or a high rise in New York with a shaman that flew in. That this is an experience of a lifetime, and you should be completely immersing yourself in it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, so many people still think that these things are drugs, and it's so interesting because this is actually one of this girl I dated last year. This was the source of why I ended things, because she was so judgmental about like the work I was doing with mushrooms. Meanwhile, she's out on a Tuesday night fucking having 4 drinks, ripping the vape in between each sip. I'm like, my love,
which one's worse?
Yeah, I'm like, listen, honey, I understand you were programmed to believe that mushrooms are this drug that are going to fry your brain, but at least be open-minded to understanding the truth and understanding also that you've been programmed by a narrative that is designed to disconnect you with things like vaping and with things like alcohol, right? It's crazy that so many people are still asleep, but I'm grateful that we get to be here. Like, I'm so happy you're here, bro, because there's not so many people that look like you that are still so young that are like leaning into this path.
I'm the youngest one here.
Probably, yeah. Which is interesting because most journeys I go on, like there's always like a couple like kids in like their early to mid 20s. This is an older group, 40s, 50s, which I love, by the way.
Yeah, I do too.
Because it reminds me that, like, I'm still young as fuck. Like, I have so much life in front of me. I'm like...
I want to touch on what you were just saying about how people are so blind to all these drugs and everything. What's crazy to me is how I grew up. I grew up going to a private school as well as you did. But I grew up in this bubble of Christianity where the only thing that was truth was the Bible. I believe that the Bible has its truths, of course. I am a Christian. I do believe in God. But astrology, no. Drugs, no way. Like, nothing. Mushrooms, ayahuasca, no. Of the devil, like, right? Anything that wasn't taught in the private school was not okay.
Yeah.
And to me, when you think about it realistically, and you could take this from me because I do believe in God and I pray to God, and I think, okay, so if we believe with science that God could create a plant, and this plant has all these formulas and cells, and all these things have to be perfect for this plant to grow and blossom a flower, why is it so crazy to think that the stars can't, that he could, why is it so crazy to think that God couldn't use the stars in the same kind of formula to create us? Is it so wild to think that our personalities could have something to do with the stars when a flower has to have these million combinations of things happening at once? So when you think about it that way, you have to kind of open yourself up to saying, okay, maybe my faith is more important than my religion. Maybe my connection to God and what is right is more important than what the church says I must do or what my teacher says I must do. The best lesson I ever learned in that private school, I'll say, is this. I had a substitute teacher that came in, and he said, if you guys can leave this class with one thing, leave it with this. Never blindly follow tradition, no matter what. And ever since then, I've been the most annoying kid in class. Because I've always asked questions. I've always questioned everything.
Yeah.
And if you're not questioning things, then you become a slave to society. You become a sheep. You become like everyone else. And you wonder why you go to airports and you see 3 open lines and you see 100 people filling up one. It's because everyone is so
They're
like
locked
out. Like they are so.
Wow. I always wonder if they're like.
They're so out of tune. That no one is trying constantly to think out of the box, whereas you and I, we walk around and we're always looking for opportunity or change, or if we're given something, we don't just take it as it is. We like, okay, why is this actually happening?
Right.
How does this make me feel? How can I impact this? How can I bring my own gifts into this? Whereas other people, they might just walk around aimlessly and they just follow whatever's happening without questioning anything.
Yeah, it's
how
crazy.
sad of a life.
Yeah, and it's also a process of not trying to change anyone, right? Because that's another thing. After you leave here, you're gonna want to tell all your friends and family about it. You're gonna be like, "Yo, you need to come to Rhythmia. You need to sit with ayahuasca." And the truth is, most people aren't actually ready for it. So, what I've learned is you just have to embody the change, like the different changes that you want to make. Once you get back, you show up as that upgraded version of yourself, and then that will hopefully inspire others to do something similar, right? So, yeah, I'm really excited to see what comes up. I mean, it's been a beautiful 48 hours here at Rhythmia. Again, I'm going to put a link in the show notes in the description for the opportunity for you listening to actually book a 30-minute free call with Rhythmia. If you're interested in coming here, they're leading retreats every single week, and I'm never going to endorse something or promote something that I don't strongly believe in. And I am a big believer in what they're doing here. I've seen some of their processes and the intentionality that they operate with, and it's just a really high level. Like, they wouldn't have served 18,000 people if it wasn't working. You know what I mean? Right. That is not easy to do. When you're dealing with something as sensitive as ayahuasca and like people from all walks of life from all over the country flying in, it's like something very sacred, and it needs to be treated with a lot of respect and intention. So they do a great job. Highly recommend, book a call with them. Just hop on a 30-minute call. It's free, and you can see if this is potentially a path you want to pursue taking.
Let me add something onto that. And even if you don't feel that ayahuasca is the right route for you, there's so many other things that can help you grow spiritually. Meditation, yoga, breath work, all these things are things that we're doing here as well, but they have just as big of an impact because it's something that we could take back home with us. So if you book this call with Rhythmia and you feel like it's not for you, that's okay. Look into breath work, look into meditation, look into yoga, look into how you can grow spiritually without taking ayahuasca if you don't want to, if you're not ready for it.
And by the way, I think most people should actually start with those things. Like
Very true.
If you come and you sit with ayahuasca and you've never done breath work, or you've never worked out, or you've never like done a cold plunge or sauna, like these are the essential things. These are like the foundation, right? Like the medicine, whether it's ayahuasca, mushrooms, most psychedelics will always just bring you back to your breath.
Yeah.
To the present moment. Like if things seem intense, breathe. If things are beautiful, breathe and enjoy every moment, right? So it's all just a reminder. And it's so cool, bro, seeing these little ants.
Oh,
and
I
like
know.
they're all just like,
Everyone's doing their little part. What are we doing?
yeah, what are we doing, bro? I mean, we're recording a podcast that's hopefully going to impact some people. And
I really hope so. And I'd like to say, if there's one thing that I want people to get from this too, is to push yourself, to get yourself out of your comfort zone, to push yourself past those limits and explore yourself, explore your mind, and become someone that you admire yourself. Become someone that you're proud of. Come back and merge with your soul. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I'm just going to capture that little bug, that little ant. Look at him.
The little auntie.
Look at him.
He's carrying his big old flower.
Look at that guy.
5 times his body weight, I'm sure.
Yeah, this podcast is about to be so fire. Let me do some parting words. Yo, this was absolutely incredible. I'm so glad that Grant and I were able to do this. And my intention is to do this actually every day that we're here. Because honestly, the other times that I've, sat with medicine and stuff, there's been like so many things that have come up and I'm like, oh, fuck, like I wish I would have shared this. And to have Grant here, like with his equipment and be able to like share this together and document things, is amazing. And hopefully it, again, even if it reaches one person and inspires one person to kind of pursue a path of becoming their highest self, amazing. If you resonated with this episode, please share it with a friend. Leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you happen to be watching this. And like I said, we'll hit a link in the show notes to book a call with Rhythmia. Obviously, make sure you're following Grant. I will link to his page in the show notes as well. And yeah, y'all, thank you for listening. This was incredible. Any final words, Grant?
Yeah. Be a kid.
Oh, shit. Grant is activating his inner child and re-emerging with his soul. I think I gotta do the same, bro. I think he inspired me to do the same. Let's fucking go. Oh my God. That was amazing. What's up, brother? Oh, sway, right? You did it. You made it to the end of the show. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, your support in listening to this podcast. And really, my mission here is to deliver the best conversations, the best people, so you can continue elevating and becoming the best version of yourself. And all that I ask in return is that you actually take action on the things that we talk about in these conversations, whether it's certain habits to implement or certain thought patterns or belief systems that you want to reprogram and remove from your life. I just want to remind you that your life is your gift and you are the creator. You are the main character of your movie. So please take action on these things we discuss. And tag me on social media. Tag me on Instagram in your stories at Jeremy Awakens. Let me know what stood out the most to you. Let me know what were some powerful moments for you from this conversation. And finally, If you haven't already done so, it would mean the world if you left a review for the podcast. Word of mouth is our oxygen. This is what allows us to reach more people and impact more lives. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you next time.